KMC guy here again from Automated System Solutions, ASS. Let's continue. In this video I'm going to show you how to do off-panel point polling using a graphical block that I've made, a macro block. I've seen a video previously where KMC shows how to do different strategies for pulling panel objects from off-panel. And in the help file here we happen to see one of those examples. It's called Netcache and Netpoint. And in here it'll pull an object every so often. So this happens to be the off-panel point here. And here we've got the 180 seconds to the polling rate. And then maybe you want to write back to the object the value. I can't imagine wanting to do that very often. So I patterned some of the code after this explanation here in the help file. Get into here. So I've done a search, NET, and I've made a block called Netpoint block. Let's put this in here. And as you can see, I've got the block number. I could be pulling objects from numerous controllers, so I put that dot or period block number in here, so I could put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as I'm adding more and more off-panel point polling. You got your polling time. You've got the object that you're going to be bringing in from another controller, and the object you're going to be writing it to it. So let's look at the code behind this. So I'm going to go into M. So I've got this restart thing, and I had to add a macro or a local variable. KMC in their example shows this power loss, and that's all they had. They didn't have this in there. The problem with the power loss is it's only true when the controller actually loses power or is cold started or warm started, not when the program is compiled. So I found it not hitting this Netpoint line until the controller was restarted. I wanted it to be established as soon as I compiled the program. So I thought, well, I'm going to put a local variable in, and when you resend a program, it sets all the values to 0. So if it sees that that restart object is 0, then it goes and reestablishes it. So it works like a power loss, but it works actually even better because it also does it on a compiling of the program. So here's the code behind it. I'm not going to explain too much of it. I put none in there for off-panel for sending back the value. We're not going to be sending, we're only going to be pulling it. So let's see how this works now. So I'm going to look at another controller. Let's find an object in another controller. So here we got a VAV box. Let's say we want to get this AV1 space temperature off this VAV box. Happens to be device instance 1004. So we're going to go back to the block programming. I'm going to call this block number 1. And I'm going to do, let's say, a 10-second polling rate. And that's device instance 1004 dot AV1. So it's going to go look for device instance 1004.AV1, and I'm going to, let's just write it to an AV. So I'm just going to scroll down here. I don't have an object made for this. I'm just going to take this AV here. As I showed you in other things, my output is actually an input. So that's the only thing you actually have to attach an object for. You can't attach off-panel points to an input, but you can hand type them in the way I set this up. So I'm going to connect that block there. I'm going to write to the panel. Okay, so let's look at what the code looks like. And there is the code. Now notice it took away that period block number and put 1 in there. Again, I put that in there so you could use this more than once in a program. It's going to device instance 1004.AV1 and getting the present value every 10 seconds. And it's writing it to AV12. Now that makes it a lot easier to work with this code, don't you think?